आज हम बात करते हैं इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के ऊपर। इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है क्या चीज। तो मेनली इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में कंटेंट क्या क्या है देखते हैं कि व्हाट इज कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। सबसे पहले हम ये देखेंगे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है क्या चीज। फिर उसके बाद हम देखेंगे व्हाई डू वी नीड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, द स्टोरी ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया, द फ्रेमिंग ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया, द preamble to constitution of India, what the constitution of India and main characteristic of the constitution of India and conclusion of constitution. So let's talk about step by step. First is what is constitution. So also you know that every person is know that about it कि हमारा जो इंडिया है वो कब आज़ाद हुई थी। 15 अगस्त 1947 को हमारा इंडिया आज़ाद हुई थी फ्रॉम द ब्रिटिश रूल। ऑन द दैट डे टू टिल दिस डे, तो अभी तक हम जो है अपने शासन व्यवस्था को किस प्रकार से चला रहे हैं और क्यों किस तरीके से चला रहे हैं और किस तरीके से उसको अमल में ला करके चला रहे हैं, तो वो है हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। दैट्स मीन्स कि ऑलमोस्ट एवरीथिंग वी डू इज गवर्न बाय सम सेट्स ऑफ रूल। देयर आर आल्सो rules imposed by morality, custom that play an important role in telling us what we should do and what we should not to do. दैट्स मीन्स अगर हम एक एग्जांपल लेते हैं कि मान ले कि दुनिया में फेमस है फुटबॉल का गेम, तो उसमें एक नियम होता है, एक कानून होता है कि क्या करना है और क्या नहीं करना है। जैसे कि आप देख पा रहे हैं इस पिक्चर्स में कि तीन प्लेयर हैं, गेम फुटबॉल चल रहा है और वो क्या कर रहे हैं। उसके बाद हम देख रहे हैं शुड नॉट, क्या है ये, इसमें क्या दिखाई दे रहा है कि जो गेम हो रहा है उसके बाद हम फाइट ना करें। ठीक है, इसमें एक हम रोनाल्डो देख सकते हैं उसमें, और दूसरा है कि जब फाइट होती है तो उसको चलाने के लिए, उसको रोकने के लिए कौन है, शासन व्यवस्था है जिसको हम रेफरी कहते हैं। ठीक है, तो हम अगर बात करें इससे आगे, सम रूल्स दैट आर मेड बाय द लेजिस्लेचर। जैसे हमें पता है कि अभी 2024 में चुनाव हुआ था, उस चुनाव के अंतर्गत हमने किसको चुना है, हमने अपने लेजिस्लेचर को चुना है, और वो भी कौन, लोकसभा के मेंबर्स को चुना है। उसके बाद हमें पता है कि पार्लियामेंट है इंडिया में, पार्लियामेंट में क्या कौन कौन सा है, लोकसभा है, राज्यसभा है। ठीक है, अगर हम जनरल बात करते हैं तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है क्या। सबसे पहली बात, तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज द सुप्रीम लॉ ऑफ इंडिया। ऑल द लॉज हैव टू कंफर्म द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। The constitution contains law concerning the government and its relation with the people. First, that the things two main aspects. First is the relation between the different level of government, basically which is panchayat government, state government, or central government, between the government and its citizen. Okay, the role of the constitution is relationship between government and its people. So we know that कि गवर्नमेंट की कितनी बॉडीज है, तीन बॉडी। पहली बॉडी कौन सी है, लेजिस्लेटिव, वो क्या करती है, टू मेक लॉज। फिर सेकंड बॉडी इज जुडिशरी, और मे बी इज थर्ड बॉडी इज आल्सो वी कॉल्ड थर्ड बॉडी। और सेकंड इज एग्जीक्यूटिव। एग्जीक्यूटिव क्या करती है, इन्फोर्स द लॉ। जो लॉ किसने बनाया है, लेजिस्लेटिव ने बनाया है, उसको इन्फोर्स कौन करता है, एग्जीक्यूटिव करता है। और जो लॉ बन के इन्फोर्स हुई है उसको इंटरप्रेट कौन कर रहा है, देख कौन रहा है, ठीक है, उसको देख रहा है जुडिशरी। और किसके ऊपर ये लॉ लागू हो रहा है, तो ये लागू हो रहा है आपके सिटीजन्स के ऊपर, आपके पीपल्स के ऊपर। ठीक है, अगर हम टेक्निकल डेफिनेशन की बात करते हैं तो हम क्या कह सकते हैं, व्हाट इज कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज अ सेट फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल और एस्टैब्लिश प्रेसिडेंट्स according to which state or the other organization is governed. These rules together make up is that constitute what the entity is. When these peoples are written down into a single collection or set of legal documents, those documents may be said to be comprise a written constitution, or in other words, the document containing laws and rules which determine the describe the forms of the government. The relationship between the citizen and the government is called constitution. Okay, हम जानते हैं कि पैट्रिक हेनरी एक बहुत बड़े पॉलिटिकल साइंस के ज्ञाता है, राजनीतिक विशेषज्ञ थे। तो उन्होंने कहा था, द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज नॉट एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट फॉर द गवर्नमेंट टू रिस्ट्रेन द पीपल, इट इज इंस्ट्रूमेंट फॉर द पीपल टू रिस्ट्रेन द गवर्नमेंट। ये पैट्रिक हेनरी के कोट्स हैं। तो अब हमने देख लिया कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है क्या। अब हम देखते हैं कि वाई डू वी नीड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। अगर हम छोटी सी सामान्य बात करें, जनरल में बात करें, तो हमें कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की आवश्यकता क्यों पड़ती है। तो बिकॉज ऑफ इतना बड़ा देश है, हमारा देश जो है बहुत बड़ा देश है, लार्ज 7th नंबर पर आता है वर्ल्ड वाइड में। तो उसको चलाने के लिए एक कानून व्यवस्था तो होनी चाहिए। अगर कानून व्यवस्था नहीं होगा तो आए दिन जैसे आप देख सकते हो कि एक रोड पे भी चलने के लिए आपको पता है कि राइट साइड कौन सा है, रॉन्ग साइड कौन सा है। अगर आप रॉन्ग साइड से जाते हो तो एक्सीडेंट होने का चांस अधिक हो जाता है। उसी तरीके से हमारे कंट्री को प्रॉपरली चलाने के लिए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एक गवर्निंग बॉडी की आवश्यकता होती है। सो वी नीड ए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन टू गवर्न ए कंट्री प्रॉपरली। अब हम देखते हैं कि हमारे यहाँ पे हर 5 साल बाद चुनाव होता है, और 5 साल बाद लोकसभा चुनाव होने के बाद क्या होता है, एक नई सरकार या उसी सरकार को हम दोबारा से चुनते हैं। तो ये भी क्या है, एक डेमोक्रेसी की पार्ट है। ठीक है, हमारा कंट्री क्या है, द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डिफाइन द नेचर ऑफ द पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम ऑफ द कंट्री। जैसे कि आपने देखा है चाइना में यूनिटरी सिस्टम है, वहाँ पे कोई फुट डालने की आज़ादी नहीं है, है ना? एक ही पार्टी है, एक सिंगल पार्टी सिस्टम है वहाँ पे। लेकिन हमारे यहाँ क्या मल्टीपल पार्टी सिस्टम है। दैट्स मीन्स कि रीजनल पार्टी को भी हम छोटा नहीं समझते, और वहाँ पे भी उनको चुनाव लड़ने की आज़ादी। Sometimes we feel strongly about an issue that might go against our larger interest, and constitution help us guard against this। ठीक है, जैसे आप लोगों ने पढ़ा होगा कि देखा भी है, मतलब फंडामेंटल राइट्स है, तो अगर किसी का वायलेट होता है तो वो दैट्स मीन्स कि वो सिंगल पर्सन के लिए नहीं है वो वायलेशन। वो वायलेशन एक लार्ज कंटेक्स्ट में भी हो सकता है। ठीक है, तो हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन क्या है, उससे हमें बचाता है। All the three organs of the government, executive, legislature, and judiciary, function within the constitution. All the three organs of the government, including ordinary citizen, derive their powers and authority, that is, fundamental rights, from the constitution. If they act against it, it is unconstitutional and unlawful. So, constitution is required to have authoritative allocation of function and also restrict them within its limit। सरकार को लिमिट्स में लाती है, गवर्नमेंट को उसका अकाउंटेबल बनाती है। तो इसलिए हमें क्या है, एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की आवश्यकता पड़ती है। अगर हम अपने वर्ड में बोले, द पीपल डोंट नो देयर ट्रू पावर, तो उसको पावर को जानने के लिए क्या चीज चाहिए होगा, हमें कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन चाहिए, एक हमें एक लिखित चीज चाहिए होगी कुछ। सो व्हाई वी डू नीड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। अगर हम इसको हम अपने एक टेक्निकल लैंग्वेज में बोले, द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज प्रोवाइड टू सेट अ बेसिक रूल दैट अलाउ फॉर मिनिमल coordination amongst members of the society। A constitution is to specify who is the power to make decision in a society, it decide how the government will be constituted। A constitution is to be set some limits on what a government can impose on the citizen. These limits are fundamental in the sense of the government may ever traps them। A constitution is to enable the government to fulfill the separation of society and create condition for a just society। दैट मीन्स कि आप सेपरेशन नहीं कर सकते सोसाइटी में कि ये इस रिलीजन का है, ये इस कास्ट का है, ये इस जेंडर का है, ये इस सेक्स का है, ये मेल है, ये फीमेल है, व्हाट वी कॉल्ड इन सोसाइटी टर्म्स, सोसाइटल टर्म्स। तो हम उसके बिहाफ पर नहीं करेंगे, जस्ट क्या करेंगे कि जस्टिस करेंगे, इक्वालिटी की बात करें। तो हमने देख लिया कि व्हाई डू वी नीड ए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। सो नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया। सबसे बड़ी बात है कि हमारा जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है वो किस प्रकार का है, किस तरीके से दिखता है, उसको कैसे फ्रेम किया गया, हम उसकी बात करते हैं। तो अगर हम हिस्ट्री की बात करें, कंटेक्स्ट में बात करें, तो सभी को पता होगा हमारा देश जो है 15 अगस्त 1947 को आज़ाद हुआ। उसके बाद फर्स्ट बैठक जो है वो 13, उससे पहले हो गई थी हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की वजह से, 1946 में ही स्टार्ट हो गया था बनना। बट जो देखते हैं हम जिस चीज़ों को कैसे रिलेट किया गया, तो उसको हम देखते हैं। इन द लाइट ऑफ दीज ऑब्जेक्टिव्स एंड असेंबली completed its task by the November 26, 1949। The constitution was enforced with effect from January 26, 1950। From that day became रिपब्लिक ऑफ इंडिया। तो उसी दिन को हम क्या कहते हैं, रिपब्लिक डे भी मनाते हैं। हम हर साल देखते हैं कि इंडिया गेट पे परेड होती है उसकी। अभी भी आपने देखा होगा 26 डे को हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने झंडा फहराया है, सॉरी प्रेसिडेंट ने झंडा फहराया, और वहाँ परेड निकलती है। ठीक, तो ये देख सकते हैं कि जो हमारे फर्स्ट प्राइम मिनिस्टर सॉरी प्रेसिडेंट है डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद, वो साइन कर रहे हैं न्यू कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पे। ठीक है, अब हम बात करते हैं द फ्रेमिंग ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया। ये कैसे फ्रेम किया गया। द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया जो फ्रेम हुई है वो इस प्रकार से हुई है। इसके अंतर्गत जो इलेक्टेड मेंबर था वो डायरेक्टली इन्वॉल्व थे। वैसे तो कोई वोट नहीं हुआ था, बट हम इसको कह सकते हैं द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन असेंबली ऑफ इंडिया वाज इलेक्टेड टू द राइट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ द इंडिया following Indian independence from Great Britain. Its members served as the variation of the first parliament. The body was formed in 1946 for the purpose of making independent India's constitution. The assembly passed a resolution in 1947, generally defining the constitution, the objective of the constitution, to set up a union India comprising British India and the princely state, to set up a federal form of government with separate state and central government, to set up a democracy in which all the powers derive from the people, where all the peoples are granted justice, equality, and freedom, where minorities, then depressed class, and the tribal rights are protected. So, I have one question for you. Who is the founding father of our constitution? Because in this topic, where minority, depressed class, and tribes rights are protected, to protect the integrity of India and her sovereignty, rights, land, sea, and air, to help India attain the rightful place in the world, to work peace and mind care. The framing of Constitution of India. Dr. Sachindran Sinha was the first president temporary of the Constitutional Assembly when it met on December 1946. Later, Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the president of the Constitutional Assembly and Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar became the chairman of the drafting committee on December 11, 1946. So you can also see these pictures. First is Dr. Sachinanand Sinha, then second is Dr. Rajendra Prasad, third is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the founding father of the Constitution. The Constituent Assembly consists of 385 members, on which 292 were elected by the elected members of the Provincial Legislative Assembly, while 93 members were nominated by the Princely Estate. To these were to be added a representative each from the four chief commissioner provinces of Delhi, Ajmer, Marwar, Coorg, and British Parliament. British Balochistan, sorry. And now you can see this is the first pick of the Constituent Assembly on the day of December 9, 1946. So the framing of Constitution of India, something we borrowed from other constitution, which is from UK, from USA, from Australia, from USSR, from Germany, from Japan, from Canada, from South Africa, from Ireland. Mainly is from UK, we take it nominal head. It is president, cabinet system of minister, post of prime minister, parliamentary type of government, bicameralism parliament. Lower has and more powerful council of ministers responsible to lower house, provision of the speaker in the Lok Sabha. And secondly, from USA, what we took it, written constitution, appointment of vice president, fundamental rights, supreme head of the state known as the president, provision of the state, judicial review. From Australia, concurrent list, state center relationship, language and preamble. From USSR, fundamental duties, 5-year plan. From Germany, emergency provision. From Japan, laws on which the Supreme Court function. From Canada, federal system and residuary power. From South Africa, procedure and constitutional amendment. From Ireland, concept of directive principle of state and policies. Okay. Next, the framing constitution of India is the main part is that till from the time being till the constitution was made, India would be the governed in accordance with the Government of India Act 1935. The assembly made in the session open to the public for 166 days, separate from period of 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days before adopting the constitution. It was finally passed and acceptance of 26th day of November 1949 in all the 284 members of the assembly signed the official copies of the Indian constitution, which is also the original copy. After many deliberation, some modification over 101 plenary session in 114 and 308 members of the assembly signed two copies final of the document, which is Hindi and English, on January 24, 1950. Same day, the assembly unanimously elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the President of India, which came into the effect of 26 January 1949. And also we celebrated this day is the Republic Day of India. So now you can see these are the pictures where President House Okay. So next is the preamble to Constitution of India. What is the present preamble? It is taken from the uh, USA. Okay. So preamble is the Constitution of India is a brief introductory statement set out to the guiding purpose and principle of the document. So the what is written in that document, with the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, social, secular, democratic, and republic, and to secure its citizen justice, social, economic, political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity to promote among them all. Fraternity, assuming the dignity of the individual and the unity and dignity of the nation. In our Constitution, 70s, 20th of November 1949, to hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. The first was what was the preamble was the "We the people." It is a Abraham Lincoln word also signifies that the power is ultimately vested in the hands of the people of India. So far, the preamble has been amended only once in 1976 by 42nd Amendment Act, which is inserted the word socialism, secularism, and integrity. A brief part is this: subversion. It means free to follow internal and external policies. Secular. It means that no particular religion is preferred. Social. It means no concentration of power and money. Democratics. It means ruled by the elected representative of the house. Fifth is republic. It means no room for hereditary ruler of monarchy. The next is you can also see uh, Hindi part of the preamble and English part of the preamble, and it is main cover page of the Constitution of India. That the preamble page, along with the other page of the first and original book of the Constitution of India, was designed, art, and decorated solely by Leon Painter Behor Sekha. Okay, so why we took a preamble? Purpose of having a preamble like the preamble is our constitution serve two purpose. It indicates the source from which the constitution derives its authority, and it also states the objectives which the constitution seeks to establish and promote. The preamble seeks to establish what Mahatma Gandhi describes as the India of my dreams. And India is a which poor shall feel that is their country, in which in whose making they have to effective voice, an India in which all the communities shall live in perfect harmony. There can be no room in such an India for a curse or unsociability or a curse of intoxicating. Women will enjoy as the same right as men. So let's next topic is what is the Constitution of India. So next topic is what is Constitution of India. Constitution of India is in general. Constitution of India is considered to be the supreme law of the country as it puts forth the framework of fundamental political principle. It establishes the structure, procedure, powers, duties of the government as mentioned the fundamental rights, direct principles, and duties of citizens. The Constitution declared India as a sovereign, socially democratic, and republic with a parliamentary form of government. The Indian Constitution shows federal as well as unitary system. So, what is the federal nature? It is a federal system. Powers are divided into or shared between the state and the central government. In Part 7, Schedule 7, state list, concurrent list, and union list. These are the three lists which are taken from the Australia. So, so next is unitary system. Power comes from central government. That means when the emergency is uh, taken place, all the powers are done by the parliament. Federal features. What is the federal feature? Supreme of the constitution, division power between the federal feature of the constitution. What is that? Supremacy of the constitution, division of power between the union, central is that central government and the state, the existence of the independent judiciary by the Indian constitution. So, what is the unitary features of the our constitution? Single citizenship, whether you are stay in the Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, whatever you want. Single constitution from north to south, you have only single constitution. Power of the unit to override the state matters. During emergency, the system becomes virtually unitary, changing the same names of the boundaries of the state by the parliament. Integrated judiciary system, center appoints the governor, which are key point of the key member of the state, key member of in state, dependence of the state on the center for economic assistance. So these are the constitution of India. We have preamble, we have amendments, we have schedule, we have appendix, we have articles, we have parts. So we have preamble in first chapter. We have preamble. The preamble of the constitution is brief, introductory statements such as guiding purpose, principle of the documents. We have 25 parts. These individual articles are considered grouped together into the following parts. First part is union territory, second part is citizenship, third part is fundamental right, fourth part is directive principle of state policy, fourth is that is taken from the USSR, fundamental duties. Part fifth is the union, part six is the state, part seven is state in the first schedule repeal. Now that is repealed by the union government. Part 8 is union territories. Part 9 is the panchayat. Part 10, 9 is the municipalities. Part 10 is the scheduled and tribal areas. Part 11 is the relation between union and state. Part 12 is finance, property, contract and suits. Part 13 is the trade and commerce within the territory of India. Part 14 is service under the union and the state. Part 14 is tribunals. Part 15 is election. Part 16 is special provision related to certain classes. Part 17 is language. Part 18 is emergency provision. Part 19 is miscellaneous and part 20 is amendments of the constitution. So part 21 is temporary, transitional and special provisions. Part 22 is the short title date of announcement, authority to extend Hindi and peoples. From Article 1 to Article 450. Generally, we have Article only 395 total article, but according to amendments, we have now 450 articles. And from the date of 9th of Feb 2025, we have 103rd Amendment also done yet. And we have 12 schedule, 2 appendix. And in part 3rd, we have mainly we fundamental rights from Article 12 to 35. The word fundamental suggests that the rights are so important in the Constitution. These are the rights: the right to equality, right to freedom, right freedom of religion, right against exploitation, right cultural and educational, right to constitutional remedies. These are the basic rights of the individual. Ordinary right may be changed or legislated by ordinary process of law making, but a fundamental right may be only changed by the amending the constitution itself. Besides this, no organ of the government can act in a manner that violate them. Any infringements of the fundamental rights can be challenged by a citizen India in court of law. The Constitution of India also prescribes some fundamental duties on every citizen in India. So we have fundamental duties in Article 51A. It is in Part 4 to abide the Constitution, to uphold the protect, which have only the people's duty, mainly is people's duty. Okay. The directive principle is in Part 4, Article 36 to 51. It provides the social and economic base of the genuine democracy. The classification of these are the as follow: social and economic principles, liberal principle, Gandhian principle, international principle. Where you are see now, these are the articles. Okay, can you also read this? If we talk about the Gandhian principle, Gandhi is talking about the art, like state will strive to organize panchayat in village, will endow with them with such powers which enable them to act as a unit of self-government. Article 43 is also state shall strive to develop the cottage industry, KBIC, rural areas both on the individual or cooperative basis. And now it's according to 97 Amendment Act, cooperative society are as a mm, basic right in our constitution from 19 article from the article 19. Article 47, the state shall strive the ban and the consumption of wine like Gujarat, Bihar and other states. Uttarakhand is also doing like that, but now this is not doing that yet. Other intoxicating drinks. Okay. Article 48 rebels that the state will ban struggling of cows, calves, and other milk cattle. Okay. So we know that the government have three bodies mainly. The Indian government is divided in three districts, but related branches, legislative, executive, and judiciary, have to function within their own sphere democrated under the constitution. In other words, the doctrine of separation of power has been implicitly recognized by the Indian constitution. This is legislative, judiciary, and executive. Legislative is the Parliament of India, is that the President, the Lok Sabha, then Raj Sabha. And judiciary has, we have integrated judiciary system, the Supreme Court of India, which have 31 justices. And we have permanent justice executive and we have temporary executive. Temporary executive is council of ministers, which are uh, chosen by the people, and uh, permanent executive is civil servant or other. Okay. So what is constitution? The basic principle of the constitution is popular sovereignty, socialism, secularism, fundamental right, direct principle of state policy, judicial independence, federalism, and cabinet government. And how can we amend these constitution? By simple majority of the parliament, by special majority of the parliament, by special majority of parliament, and rectification of the state. These are the some concept. Check and balance. So we have judiciary and election commission. We mainly knows about the check and balances. Okay. So main characteristics of the constitution of India is that so longest duration constitution, partly rigid and partially flexibility, a democratic republican parliamentary system to government, federal EU fundamental right, direct principle of state policy, fundamental duties, secular state, independent judiciary, single citizenship. So now वी टॉक अबाउट द कंक्लूजन। इतना सारा हमने पढ़ लिया, अभी तक देख लिया हमने क्या क्या है, हमने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में क्या देखा है, हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन किस प्रकार में चाहिए, हमें कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हिस्ट्री क्या है, उसके फ्रेमिंग में किस किन लोगों के हाथ है, प्रिम्बल क्या है। ठीक है, हमने अभी तक देख लिया हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन किस प्रकार का है, हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कहाँ कहाँ से अडॉप्ट किया गया है। तब हम देखते हैं कंक्लूजन क्या है। A constitution symbolizes independence of a country framework. The structure of the governance free country are provided in the constitution. The Constitutional Assembly prepared the draft of the constitution by keeping the objective resolution as the backdrop which reflected the inspiration of the people of India. The framing of the constitution was completed on November 26, 1949, when the Constitutional Assembly formally adopted the new constitution. The constitution came into the force within effect from the January 26, 1950. Okay, this is the our original copy of the constitution. It is in Parliament Museum. You can see in the picture. So the Constitution of India has several distinct features. It is lengthiest constitution in the world, combination of rigidity and flexibility, which we call written constitution. The constitution provides the quasi-judicial federal. It means the federal setup where, despite having two clear sets of the government, central and state government, more power are given to central government, set up with a strong center. There's a clear division between state and center in from Schedule 7. Supreme Court of India, the apex court of which India has resolved the dispute with the center and state, between the state also. Okay. India has a parliamentary democracy. The Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister enjoy the real power and is possible to the state. Indian concept for the fundamental right, fundamental duties, and TPSP. It seems to be like undertake a study of Indian federalism with the view of evaluate the trend fractions and difficulty which have to develop in the area of the intergovernmental relation and to see the evolve ways and means to the challenging task of making the Indian Federation to more robust, strong, and workable system to that the country may meet the task for self improvement and development. The responsibility lies in the not only the jurist and the policy framer, but also the citizen of India or country to work in the harmonious manner of the development of the country. Thank you.